This is gonna be good. Just gotta keep it together. Don't laugh, don't laugh.
Yeti chuckled, a low rumble that shook the icicles in his cave. His mischievous eyes gleamed like polished obsidian. He held a bottle of extra-strength, super-fast-acting hair removal cream. This stuff was potent. It could defuzz a woolly mammoth in under a minute. His target? The one and only Bigfoot. Bigfoot was his best bud, his partner in cryptid chaos, but he was also a total diva about his fur. He spent hours grooming it, conditioning it, and making sure every strand was perfectly fluffed. Yet he thought it was time to teach him a little lesson about humility. And also, it was just plain funny.
Simple plan, really. Just a little switcheroo and then comedy gold.
The plan was simple, yet diabolical in its genius. He crept through the dense, misty forests that separated his snowy mountain home from Bigfoot's temperate woodland paradise. The journey was long, but the thought of Bigfoot's face kept him going. He imagined his friend lathering up, expecting that familiar pine-scented shampoo. Instead, he'd get a face full of baldness. Yet he had to stifle another laugh, burying his face in a snowdrift to muffle the sound. He found Bigfoot's favourite bathing spot, a secluded waterfall with a flat rock that served as a shower shelf. There it was, the legendary Bigfoot's best shampoo, a custom blend of pine needles and river mud. It was almost too easy. With the stealth of a snow leopard, Yeti tiptoed to the waterfall. He carefully unscrewed the cap of the shampoo bottle. He poured out about half of the earthy contents, replacing it with the gooey, odourless hair removal cream. He shook the bottle vigorously, mixing the concoction into a truly treacherous brew. It looked the same. It even smelled mostly the same, thanks to the overpowering aroma of pine. He placed the booby-trapped bottle exactly where he found it, making sure it looked completely undisturbed. His work was done. Now, all he had to do was wait for the magic to happen. The prank was set. The trap was laid. The Bigfoot was about to be defluffed.
Oh man, this is gonna be even better than the crabapple incident.
He scurried back to a safe hiding spot behind a giant redwood tree, his heart pounding with gleeful anticipation. This was going to be better than the time he replaced all the berries in Bigfoot's favourite patch with sour crabapples. This was next-level stuff. This was the prank of the century. He pulled out a pair of binoculars he'd borrowed from a hiker's backpack last winter and focused them on the waterfall. The stage was set, the actor was about to make his entrance, and the audience of one was ready for the show to begin. He just hoped Bigfoot wouldn't be too mad. Maybe a little mad, a funny amount of mad.
What a day. Nothing like a good scrub after leaving a few mysterious footprints for the tourists, huh?
Bigfoot lumbered toward his waterfall, humming a cheerful off-key tune. It had been a long day of leaving mysterious footprints for tourists to find, and he was ready for a good scrub. The water cascaded down the rocks, creating a refreshing mist that felt amazing on his furry face.
Ah, there it is, my trusty Bigfoot's best. Feels a little light today, but probably just running low.
He grabbed his trusty bottle of Bigfoot's best shampoo. He noticed it felt a little lighter than usual, but he just figured he was getting low. He squirted a huge glob into his palm. It felt a little smoother than normal, less gritty. He shrugged his massive shoulders and began to work the substance into a thick lather all over his magnificent coat.
Huh, not as piney as usual. Maybe Yeti added some mint or something? What a pal.
He scrubbed his head, his shoulders, his back, and even his famously large feet. He worked the lather deep into his fur, enjoying the sensation of getting clean. He felt a weird, tingling sensation, but he chalked it up to a new, invigorating ingredient. Maybe Yeti had added some mint to the recipe as a gift. How thoughtful. He dunked his head under the powerful stream of the waterfall, rinsing away the suds. The water felt unusually cool against his skin, like really, really cool. A sudden breeze rustled the leaves in the trees, and for the first time in his life, Bigfoot felt a chill, a deep, bone-rattling chill.
Wait, what the? My arm, it's pink and smooth. Oh no, oh no.
He looked down at his arm. It was pink and smooth and completely, utterly, shockingly bald. He frantically looked at his other arm. Same thing. He touched his chest, his legs, his face. All smooth, all hairless. The glorious, thick brown fur that had been his pride and joy was gone. It was all swirling in a hairy brown cloud at the bottom of the waterfall pool. He stood there, frozen in disbelief, a naked pink giant in the middle of the forest. He looked less like a fearsome cryptid and more like a giant, slightly sunburnt baby. Ah! He let out a scream that wasn't fearsome or legendary. It was a high-pitched shriek of pure, unadulterated horror. From his hiding spot, Yeti nearly fell out of the tree from laughing so hard. He clutched his stomach, tears of mirth streaming down his furry white face. It was better than he had ever imagined. Bigfoot was standing there, patting his body down as if hoping the fur might just be invisible. He saw Bigfoot catch his reflection in a still part of the pool and jump back, startled by the strange bald creature staring back at him. The look of betrayal, confusion, and utter nakedness on his friend's face was a masterpiece of comedic gold. This was a story he would tell for centuries to come. Bigfoot's initial shock quickly morphed into a strange mix of vulnerability and rage. He felt so exposed. He felt a phantom itch where his fur used to be. Every gust of wind was a personal attack. He looked around wildly, his eyes finally landing on a tuft of white fur caught on a nearby bush. Yeti! A slow, furious anger began to bubble up inside him. He wasn't just mad, he was creatively mad. Oh, there would be revenge, a revenge so cunning, so perfectly executed that Yeti would be begging for mercy. But first he needed to process this new look. He felt ridiculous, he had to do something. He started running. He just took off, a blur of pink flesh crashing through the undergrowth. He felt faster, more aerodynamic. He also felt incredibly silly.
Why is a bald man's head like a cheap motel? No ballroom.
Eek! What in the acorn is going on here?
What do you call a bear with no hair? A gummy bear.
The jokes were terrible, but they were his. They were a way of taking control of his own humiliation, of owning the absurdity of his new, smooth-skinned reality. He leapt over a fallen log, surprising a family of raccoons.
Hey guys, I used to be a Bigfoot, but now I'm more of a barefoot.
The raccoons just stared, their little bandit masks making them look like a tiny, unimpressed jury. He didn't care. He was on a roll.
What's the difference between me and a plucked chicken? About 400 pounds and a better sense of humor.
He skidded to a halt near a cave.
Knock knock, who's there? Not my hair.
He broke down into a fit of laughter, a weird cackling sound that echoed through the trees. The act of running and yelling bad jokes was strangely therapeutic. It was like he was shedding his embarrassment along with his fur. He was transforming his shame into a one-man comedy tour for the woodland creatures. By the time he circled back towards his waterfall, he was no longer just a victim, he was a comedian. A naked, slightly chilly comedian with a heart full of vengeance. He felt a new sense of purpose. The prank war was on, and he had the perfect idea. It was time to give the abominable snowman a taste of his own medicine. Bigfoot's revenge plan was simple, elegant, and involved a whole lot of spice. He knew Yeti's one weakness, his ridiculously sensitive palate. The big snowball couldn't handle anything spicier than a blade of grass. Bigfoot spent the afternoon gathering the hottest peppers in the forest. Ghost peppers, scorpion peppers, and the legendary, tear-inducing Carolina Reapers left behind by a hot sauce enthusiast camper. He mashed them into a fiery bright red paste. Then, he trekked up the mountain to Yeti's ice cave, his smooth skin glistening in the cold air. He found Yeti's private stash of snow cones, his favorite treat, and got to work. He carefully hollowed out the center of the largest, most perfect snow cone and filled it with the pepper paste, packing fresh snow back over the top to conceal his handiwork. He placed the spicy surprise snow cone right in the front of the pile, knowing it would be the first one Yeti would grab. Revenge prank activated. He then hid behind a large ice pillar to watch the fireworks. Sure enough, Yeti returned from a day of scaring skiers, grabbed the tainted snow cone and took a massive bite. For a second, nothing happened. Then Yeti's eyes went wide. His face turned a shade of red that clashed horribly with his white fur. He dropped the snow cone and ran in circles, screaming and trying to shovel handfuls of snow into his mouth.
Feeling a little hot under the collar, buddy?
Yeti, still fanning his mouth and making whimpering noises, looked up and saw his smooth-skinned friend. He stopped panicking and stared. Then a low chuckle escaped his lips, which quickly turned into a full-blown, wheezing laugh, even as he winced from the spice.
Okay, you got me. We're even.
Almost even. You still owe me a wig.
They sat there for a while, two legendary monsters, one hairless and one with a scorched tongue, just enjoying the moment. The prank war was over. Their friendship, they realized, was strong enough to survive anything, even hair removal cream and the world's hottest peppers. As the sun set over the snowy peaks, they knew this would be a story they'd tell for the rest of their long, mysterious lives.